Fiance calls off. Wedding date 4 times BC. His mom had problems, but today he tells me we have to. My wedding dress hung in the closet, mocking me with its untouched lace. 4 times I'd planned to wear it, and 4 times David called it off. Each excuse tied to his mother's latest crisis. Today, he stood in my apartment, eyes wild, saying, "We have to get married now." I froze, coffee mug halfway to my lips. The man who delayed our wedding for his mother's bad hip, her tax troubles, her emotional distress, and her literal lost cat was now demanding we rush to the altar. "What's changed?" "David," I asked, my voice sharp enough to cut through the tension. He paced, running a hand through his dark hair. "Mom's sick. Really sick this time. She says she won't go through treatment unless we're married. She needs to see us settled." His words hit like a punch, but something in his tone, a flicker of guilt, made my stomach twist. I'd loved David for 3 years. He was kind, funny, the guy who'd dance with me in the kitchen to old jazz records. But his mother, Evelyn, was a shadow over us. She didn't hate me, not openly. She'd smile at family dinners, her eyes cold, and say, "Oh, Clara, you're so independent." The word always sounded like an insult. Every wedding delay came with her signature, a crisis only David could fix, pulling him back to her side like a tether. The first cancellation was 6 months ago. I'd spent weeks picking out centerpieces, tasting cakes, dreaming of our vows. Then Evelyn's hip surgery was scheduled the same week. "She needs me there," David said, and I nodded, swallowing my disappointment. The second time, her accountant messed up her taxes, and David spent our wedding weekend sorting it out. The third, she had a nervous breakdown because her sister moved away. The fourth, her cat, Mr. Whiskers, went missing, and David canceled our venue deposit to fly home and search. I'd laugh then, bitterly, wondering if I was marrying a man or his mother's shadow. Now I'm standing in my living room. David's urgency felt different, desperate. "Clara, please," he said, grabbing my hands. "She's got cancer, stage 3. She's refusing chemo unless we do this. She says it's her dying wish." My heart cracked, but not for Evelyn, for us, for the life we'd planned, now tangled in her demands. "David," I whispered, "is this about her wish or ours?" He looked away, and that silence said everything. I pulled my hands back. "I need to think." He nodded, leaving me with the weight of his words and the ghost of our almost weddings. I sank onto the couch, staring at the dress across the room. It wasn't just fabric, it was every hope I'd pinned on us, now fraying at the edges. The next day, I drove to Evelyn's house. She lived in a pristine colonial, all white picket fences and manicured roses. She opened the door, her face pale but composed, a silk scarf draped over her shoulders. "Clara, dear," she said, her smile thin, "David told me you're hesitant. I thought you loved him." "I do," I said, stepping inside. "But I need to understand why our wedding, our life keeps waiting on you." Her eyes narrowed, but I pressed on. "4 times? Evelyn, 4 times we've stopped because of you. Now you're sick, and I'm so sorry. But why does your illness mean we have to rush?" She sat, folding her hands. "David's all I have. I need to know he's settled before I go." Her voice broke, but something in her pause felt rehearsed. I'd seen it before. Her tears always came at the perfect moment. "Evelyn," I said, leaning forward, "are you really refusing treatment unless we marry?" She blinked, caught off guard. "Because if you are, that's not love. That's control." Her face hardened. "You don't understand a mother's bond. David needs to do this for me." "No," I said, standing. "He needs to do this for himself and for me, not because you're holding your health over his head." I left, my heart pounding. Back home, I called David. "Meet me at the park." I said, "We need to talk." The park was our place where we'd had our first date, where he'd proposed under a willow tree. Neutral ground. He showed up, his face drawn, Clara, I'm sorry. I know this is a mess. It's more than a mess, I said, my voice trembling. Your mom's using her illness to control you, to control us. I love you, David, but I can't marry you if every big decision in our life goes through her first. He looked like I'd slapped him. She's dying, Clara. How can I say no to her? She's not dying yet, I said, hating how cold it sounded but needing him to hear it. And even if she was, this isn't about her. It's about us. Do you want to marry me because you love me or because she's demanding it? He stared at the ground, his jaw tight. I love you, he said finally, but she's my mom. She's always been there. I can't just abandon her. I'm not asking you to abandon her, I said, tears burning my eyes. I'm asking you to choose us, to choose me, too. The silence stretched, heavy and suffocating. Finally, he looked up, his eyes wet. I don't know how to do that. My heart shattered, but I nodded. Then I can't do this. I slipped the engagement ring off my finger and pressed it into his hand. I love you, David, but I deserve a partner who puts our life first. Walking away felt like tearing my own skin off. I cried the whole drive home, the ring's absence a weight heavier than its presence ever was. But beneath the grief, there was a spark of something else, freedom. For the first time in years, I wasn't planning my life around someone else's demands. Weeks later, I heard through a friend that Evelyn started treatment. David hadn't told her about our breakup, not wanting to stress her. I wasn't surprised. Part of me ached for him, trapped in her orbit, but I couldn't be his satellite anymore. I packed the wedding dress away, donating it to a charity that helps brides in need. It felt like closing a book, one I'd loved but couldn't finish. I started small new hobbies, new friends, a new apartment with no ghosts of canceled weddings. Each step was a reclaiming, a reminder that my life was mine to shape. Love is a choice, I realized, not just to love someone else, but to love yourself enough to walk away when it's not equal. David might find his way, or he might not. I hoped he would, but I couldn't wait for him to decide. What do you think? Did I make the right choice? Or should I have stayed and fought for us? Share your thoughts because I'm still figuring it out. End to.